I think there's a huge opportunity for us as designers to learn from each other and have the opportunity to share different challenges that we have, and again, learn from each other through being here together in person. I am, and I am a professional member. I attended the 8-week sort of master class for the professional accreditation. It was intense in a great way. If you're not familiar, 8 weeks, 8 different topics, 1 topic per week. It was quite a wonderful experience getting exposure to all these very relevant topics, and the entire curriculum was very engaging. And I found that, I was definitely a much more, a much better designer, I'll put it, coming out of that, much better service designer coming out of that course, out of those 8 weeks than I was going into it. Definitely budget some time to work through the curriculum. There's a lot of folks, at least in my cohort, who also work full-time, and while the material was very well shared with us, I found, at least, I needed a little bit more time to go through and absorb the material. And in an 8-week curriculum like that, kind of shifting from one topic to another, your context switching, it was more of a self-discipline, I think, to say I need to budget plenty of time out of my own personal schedule to absorb and complete the assignments, etc. If you have a huge deadline coming up, you probably want to just look at your schedule to ensure that you can kind of fit it in to where you need it to be, because it can be pretty intense. Service design can be transformative. You might hear me, if you spend enough time around me, sometimes I'll mention that service design is not a silver bullet, but it can be extremely powerful in the right context, in the right situations. There's always more than one way to approach any type of design problems, and that's where service design, I think, really shined, is all the different methods available. It gives you a nice broad toolbox to pull from. My biggest piece of advice is to be curious and to stay curious. So while you might have encountered either a similar problem or a similar situation, that's great. You can rely on existing experiences. However, the nuance is very important to keep in mind, and the context as well might be a little bit different. So be curious to try to find those differences, and that can really make the difference in the outcome. The other piece of advice I would recommend is focus on measurable outcomes. So a lot of people are focused on, well, my research says we should go do this thing X, Y, and Z. My question is always going to be, how are you going to measure your success? So what kind of outcome are you looking for, and how are you going to measure when you've hit a level of success, and what's that trajectory? Is it multi-phase, etc.? My favorite part of the conference is connecting with others. So folks who I might have met digitally or virtually, to be able to meet them in person, to hear their stories, and to connect directly with them. My name is Tommy Dietz, and I'm a service designer currently working with US Bank here in the US. I invite everyone to join the replay videos. It's been such a wonderful experience here at the conference, and I highly, highly recommend that you don't miss next year.